Hello my friends and welcome. This is the latest update from Ukraine. Partially in this video we're also gonna touch the events happening in Israel. But let's start from the reviews of the front lines from the hotspot which is now in Avdiivka. Russia is trying to get this town under control. From the yesterday's video you already know that they have couple of the vectors of the new attack trying to encircle the city, but they were unsuccessful in their advancement. However, they expanded the gray zone. The gray zone is the area of fighting. You can see that it is depicted in this yellowish color. Probably Russia even got some of the ground, but for now we're unaware of how much and where exactly. But what we know that all of the Russian convoys and all the vehicles that were used for this attack were ambushed. The Ukrainian army used the FPV drones and artillery systems. The attack which Russia performs just right now is comparable to the Vuhledar assault attempt which they conducted the last winter. It was totally unsuccessful. They lost more than 130 armored vehicles, and here they already lost around 30 of them. Today they started the attack with the new reinforcements, and the result is the same. It seems they are not learning on their own mistakes, or probably the same high command is in charge of those stupid operations. As you probably know, this week I've started to speak about the situation in Israel after the devastating Hamas attack on that country. What helps me to put the light on it is the ground news platform. They are able to collect all of the related stories about the Israel topic. What worries me that there could be the other fronts open against Israel, for example involving Iran, because today the Hezbollah group, which is backed by Iran, launched a new attack against the North Israel, so Israel had to respond by launching the bombs on the Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. The Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps also announced that they may join this war against Israel. And they count more than 150,000 soldiers. Israeli army counts more, but still it's the huge force. That is why it was the proper move from the United States of America to send their air carrier to the hotspot. Speaking about the ground news platform which provides me with this crucial information, my friends, it is awesome. They collect information from all around the world and put it in a very friendly manner. So here we have the articles related to our particular topic. Here we have the bias distribution based on the media resources, the factuality report based on the origin news information, whether we have some evidence or not, and also you may select it over here, all of the articles, left, central and right. I use comparison to have all them over here, and here I may choose based on the factuality report where the news is coming from and who owns the news. Sometimes it's very important because the ground news is the independent platform, so it's up to you to select what do you want to read. For example, BBC News is owned by the British government. To make it more easier for you, you may select the map and check out the origin of the resource. We have 6 of the articles about our case from the United States, 4 from India and 4 from Australia. The ground news is not just available as the website platform, they also have the very friendly made application for the Android and iOS devices. I personally use it on all of my devices to be updated constantly. They are not funded by any sort of the big media corporation. They rely just on the subscription support. That is what I am asking you here. Please support the ground news ambitious team. You may do it by going to my personal link ground.news/Dennis. If you subscribe with my link, you'll have 30% off for the unlimited access on this unique platform. So if you support them, you also partially support my job on this YouTube channel. Guys, it's my recommendation. The link is in the video description just below. Here, just for you to understand the scale of the Russian attack, this is happening just in one flank, the vector of the assault in attempt to encircle Avdiivka. They put together the armored vehicles, tanks and the artillery systems, and this is the Ukrainian artillery fire. So you definitely may see the huge convoy of the Russian armored vehicles which mostly were captured by Ukrainian army. Russia gained many of the resources, but again, the planning was done very terribly for them and good for Ukraine. Luckily, the Russian army has this incompetent command. However, I may admit that it's early to say about the Ukrainian success because Russia gained more and more army sources and still trying to get Avdiivka under their control. This is the result of the Russian attack. They lost 6 of the tanks, 9 of the BMPs, armored vehicles, 6 MT-LBs, armored vehicles, 1 BTR, 3 of the transport vehicles, and 1 D-30 artillery. For all of that, we have the drone confirmation. The images were shown before and partially in my yesterday's video. Nevertheless, as I say to you, it's not the last attack attempt by the Russian army in this particular area near to Avdiivka. They have the political goal in taking that town under control. Yesterday, they used the outstanding number of the shells on that city. It has never been like that in Avdiivka. So for sure, Russia is concentrated on that spot. Ukraine needs to reinforce the defense to avoid the second Bakhmut situation. As you see, our defense works fine right now, but we'll see what happens next. According to our soldiers, the enemy started the offensive operations throughout the entire Eastern Front. We have the good news coming from our allies. Many of the countries agreed to send the new military support for Ukraine, including the United States of America and United Kingdom. For example, UK will supply those cannons that will be used to defend Ukraine against the Shahid drone attacks. They are called MSIDS Terrahawk Paladin. They might be installed on a tracks or loaded somewhere to stay separately. This system is very precise against the drones. Belgium will also provide Ukraine with F-16 fighter jets, but unfortunately it will not happen the next year, but in 2025. Because firstly, Belgium needs to receive the F-35 fighter jets. Lithuania will send 2 of the units of the NASAMS air defense systems. America will give Ukraine weaponry for around $200 million. Jake Sullivan says that the United States is capable to support both Ukraine and Israel. There was the shelling of some of the Ukrainian cities by Russia today. Ukraine responded by hitting Belgorod military base, the big supply hub for the Russian army. We have the unconfirmed information for now that one of the modern Russian ships, Pavel Derzhavin, hit the own Russian mine not far away from Sevastopol. To confirm that, I am waiting for some official information from the Russian side or videos or photos from the place, with actual damages of this particular ship. Alright, let's return to Israel for the moment. You already know the situation on the north, it's quite difficult. Shelling of Israeli territory and Israel responded. Today we had some of the fake information that America wants to evacuate its embassy from Beirut, but it wasn't true. Also, Lebanon militants will not take part in offensive against Israel. From Jordan, we received the news that they sent the army reinforcements to the border with Israel, but not to attack Israel. They want to reinforce the border, I think not to let the possible refugees into their country from the West Bank. Also, there is the information that some of the locals will try to cross the border with Israel into the West Bank to destabilize the situation in this area. That is why Jordan reinforces the border. Just to remind you, official Jordan supports the military provision for Israel. They granted their bases for the American aviation. And it is the Muslim country. By the way, every 5th citizen of Israel also Muslim. So I don't think that this war is about religion. This war is about fighting with the terrorist Hamas groups that are placed now in Gaza. Today they launched many of the rockets to Ashkelon and other cities bordering Gaza. Israel is yet to conduct its ground operation in Gaza, but I expect it to happen very soon. Well, actually it was already announced by the Israeli defense minister, so I believe that it will be started. Unfortunately, it will bring lots of the devastation to Gaza. The best variant as for me is to put the Egypt ruling on Gaza, but Egypt doesn't want to mess with Hamas. They don't want to have those crazy Hamas people in their country. That is why I believe the only way for Israel is to start the ground operation over there, which is obviously not good for either of the sides, but Hamas will attack again and again if Israel will not solve this problem. Some of the resources published the information that American special forces landed in Israel to conduct a special military operation to release the American hostages in Gaza. Well, firstly, I don't think that this information is really truthful. Secondly, I don't think that it is possible to find the hostages in highly populated area of Gaza. Basically, they might be in every house of Gaza or even underground. Hamas, in its agony, is calling for the strikes or attacks against all around the world. I am sure that this initiative will not be supported by any kind of the Muslim or even Arab countries. Yes, there are going to be some of the protests in Europe, in America, Free Palestine as usual, but what Palestine has in common with Hamas? I think that it is the misunderstanding of many people who don't know what is happening out there. Hamas is the terrorist organization and should be liquidated. That's it. Just look at the devastations they brought recently in Israel, not just to Israeli people, not just to the Muslims of Israel, but to the other countries too. Totally 200 of the foreigners lost their lives because of the Hamas attack. It is not fight for Palestine or something. This is the brutal action performed by total barbarians, the same which we see in the Russian army. Israel will respond, and the response will shock this world, especially Hamas. My friends, don't forget to press the like to this video, and also don't forget to check my personal link ground.news/Dennis in the video description just below, where you may subscribe for the Ground News, the awesome platform which I use for the preparation for my videos. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.